Hey, how's it going? Dave 2D here, and this is the OnePlus 5. And OnePlus is a company which, at this point, doesn't need an introduction. This is their flagship phone for 2017. I think this is the best looking OnePlus phone to date. It has a double camera on the back, and because they placed it in the top left corner, it's going to look similar to the iPhone 7 Plus. It's a very clean and minimal looking design, super thin phone. It's coming in at 7.25 millimeters. It's their thinnest phone yet. And I like how it looks. I think a lot of people will mistake this for an iPhone 7 Plus, and I guess depending on who you are or what you want your phone to do, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't love the antenna lines. I know they have to be somewhere, but these look a little too Apple-y for me. And if you want to hide them, you can just get a skin from Dbrand. They'll also protect the finish and make it less slippery. I'll leave a link for them below. It has great build quality again, and in its naked form, it's comfortable to hold, but it's really smooth. I'm not sure if it's the anodization process or the finish of the metal, but it's a very slick device. It has the alert slider again with 3 positions and an LED notification that has user customizable colors. The display is still 5.5 inches and it's still 1080p, and I think it's the right choice outside of VR because it's like the perfect balance between good resolution and good battery life. It has dash charge again. If you're not familiar with dash charge, it's basically really fast charging for the phone. The OnePlus 3 had it, and I gotta be honest, I think this is the best feature of the entire OnePlus line. If you ever fall asleep and you don't charge your phone, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I have no battery, you plug it in for 20 minutes while you're getting ready and you're good to go for most of the day. Now there's a few things that haven't changed that I'm not a fan of. They didn't change the position of the fingerprint sensor, and I know this is a subjective thing. I would have preferred it on the back. I just prefer them on the back. It's still on the front, and it still only has a single speaker on the bottom. I know a lot of people don't care about that, but it's something I care about, and it's also not IP rated. It's probably water resistant to some degree. It's just not officially certified with any kind of number. It's running Oxygen OS again, and a lot of companies put a thick coat of like third-party sauce on their software. I've always liked the way that Oxygen OS feels. It's basically stock, but with a few extra tweaks to give it some more functionality. So a few things that have changed. It has Bluetooth 5.0, so you get better speeds, better range, and support for 2 headphones at once. It's running a Snapdragon 835, and it uses some speedy UFS 2.1 memory. So the combination of a fast processor with fast storage makes it very zippy when doing anything. So when you're unlocking the phone, launching the camera, launching apps, using apps, it's a quick phone. The battery is 3,300 milliamp hours, which is bigger than the OnePlus 3, but smaller than the OnePlus 3T. That was 3,400 milliamp hours, and there were rumors that it would be 4,000 milliamp hours. It's not, it's 3,300, but because of the more efficient processor, the OnePlus 5 has better battery life than the previous generations. It's still a full day battery though. It's not even close to being a 2-day battery, but with dash charge on this thing, I'm content with battery life. There's another thing I need to mention. OnePlus as a company has matured over the years, and one of the issues it had in the beginning was customer service. I had one of the original OnePlus Ones, and I had a nightmare returning that thing for repairs. It was just, I think it was like a 2 or 3 month process, and it was just jumping through hoops and flames. It was just not a fun process. OnePlus 3T, a week and a half, 2 weeks without a phone, sent it back, no issues. And if you go on forums, you look at XDA or just go on Reddit, their customer service has improved so much over the years. At this point in time, I would consider them equal to some of the bigger companies out there. Now, the big upgrade this year is the camera. Dual camera system with a lot of buzz about this thing because OnePlus announced that they were working with DxOMark to make something pretty awesome. And, well, I think it is. So right off the rip, the camera launches super fast, and that's step 1 of any good smartphone camera. Double click and you're in. Photos I took in well-lit environments look great. The colors look proper, nothing feels oversaturated or overprocessed. Photos in low light look good as well. As long as it's not too dark, they're exposed properly. There's obviously some grain, but it's nothing too bad. I did notice though, when it's really dark, the camera seems to overcompensate and tries to make it brighter than it needs to, and it just ends up looking really grainy. The autofocus is fast, and it has portrait modes from the dual cameras for some of that creamy bokeh, but the most impressive thing to me was the dynamic range on this camera. So dynamic range is how well a camera can differentiate between the darkest and brightest areas of a single photo. So this is a photo of the sun and some buildings. This is a very difficult shot to capture. The sun is so bright that everything else is going to look dark in comparison. This is how the OnePlus 5 captures it. It's pretty good, right? I think the camera on this thing is really solid. Now, image quality is subjective, and it's kind of hard to crown one as like the best camera or the winner of the cameras, but I will say this, at this price point, that sub $500 price point, This thing has the best camera right now. Now, speaking of price, the OnePlus 5 costs $480 for the 64 gig model, which makes it really price competitive. The OnePlus 5 is packed with awesome hardware for the money. It's like the poster boy of the appropriately priced smartphone. It has a premium aluminum build. It's a little slippery, get a dbrand skin for it. It has a 5.5-inch 1080p screen, and it's got a fast fingerprint sensor up front. On the back, we have the dual camera system, 16 megapixel main shooter, 20 megapixel telephoto, and combined, they deliver some very impressive photos, especially in regards to dynamic range. Inside, it's packed with a fast processor, fast storage, and 6 gigs of RAM for the base model. The upgraded model has 8 gigs of RAM if you're interested. And then the battery is 3,300 milliamp hours, and it'll comfortably last you a full day of heavy use. There are a lot of phones in the sub $500 market, and a lot of them are good, but if I had to make a recommendation right now in mid-2017, it would be this one, the OnePlus 5. Really impressed with it this year. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.